Hello, I'm Brita, Web Mistress of the Dark, and today I'm going to show you how to make my bizarre brain pate. If you've seen my Halloween recipes webpage on Brita.com, then you know I already have a lot of sweet gelatin body parts on my menu for Halloween. So when my friend got me a brain mold for my birthday in the summer one year, can you tell my friends know I like Halloween? I decided I needed a savory recipe instead of sweet, another body part. So for the brain, I chose a Creole shrimp mold recipe I had found for Mardi Gras. That's very tasty, and I thought it was the perfect color and texture to be my brain. So before you start this recipe, you need a brain mold, of course, and you need to know how much your brain will hold. So fill it up with water, take a measuring cup, and pour the water in to see how much was really in that brain. So we have 4 cups here, and a little bit more still in the brain there, so this is about a 5-cup mold. And that's perfect because that's how much my brain recipe will actually contain. So the next thing you need to make sure of is you need something where your brain will stay steady in the fridge. These brain molds are not very stable on the bottom, and you don't want your gooey brain mixture all over the inside of your refrigerator. So this bowl will fit perfectly, and that's what I'll be using today. First of all, you want to oil your mold to make sure that the brain mixture won't stick to it. Go ahead and give it a good spray with the non-stick cooking spray, is fine. You can't leave it this way though, because you'll end up with the oil pooling down in the bottom because of gravity. So you want to turn it out onto a paper towel like this so that extra oil can drain off. And then after you've oiled your brain mold, go ahead and bloom your gelatin. I have a 1/4 cup of water here and some plain powdered gelatin, unflavored of course, because you don't want some berry with your shrimp. And just go ahead and pour the powdered gelatin into that water, and it'll just go ahead and sit there in the water until you're ready to use it. Now we're going to grind our shrimp. This is best when it's absolutely frozen solid, because then you can grind it up as fine as possible. You want it almost like a paste, so that the mixture will take all of the detail of the mold. You want to make sure you see all the folds in the cerebral cortex. If you don't chop your shrimp finely enough, you'll end up with chunks, and that's not quite the right kind of illusion you're looking for. It won't really look like a brain, it'll just look like a blob. So go ahead and put about half of your shrimp at a time in your food processor to grind it up. And we're not going to subject you to all this noise, but it gets quite loud. Now that our shrimp is all chopped finely, see how fine flaking that is? Now we're ready to start cooking. Turn your stove to medium heat, and we're going to start with the cream of mushroom soup. And we only need half of a can, and this is the undiluted soup, so it's really kind of thick right now. We need to heat it up so it actually can be stirred with everything else. So go ahead and put that in first, get it started heating, and then we're going to add our cream cheese, which is also only half of a block, which is 4 ounces, so you can use the other half for anything else you like. And now we're going to heat this together for a while until it's smooth and combined together. So now we have it pretty much all dissolved here. We've got the cream cheese mixed in with the mushroom soup. Now, I don't know if you can see, but we do have, sometimes depending on the soup, there will be chunks of mushroom. Some are larger than others. You might be disturbed by the chunks in your brain, or you might not. That depends on maybe the size of the mushroom. So for right now, I don't think that there's any mushrooms that are going to bother me. However, if there's some large ones I find when I'm doing my brain each year, then I'll just go ahead and pick them out at this point and just throw away the mushrooms so I have a nice smooth brain texture. So now we're ready to add the bloomed gelatin. So this is what it looks like after it's bloomed. It's nice and goopy and disgusting and chunky, but the reason, since this has already been incorporated with water, it's going to blend into the cream cheese and mushroom soup a lot easier than if you just put the powder straight in. So we'll put that in here and make sure it gets completely stirred in before we add any other ingredients. You want to make sure that everything gets gelatin all over it, otherwise you're going to end up with pockets in your mold where it won't hold together. And you don't want your brain falling apart unless maybe you're having a zombie party that's eating the brains all dissolved. So here we'll dissolve the gelatin in here. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off because the residual heat will be plenty and I don't want to overcook the gelatin. Now we have the gelatin pretty much completely dissolved into the cream cheese and mushroom mixture. So now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients, with the shrimp being last. So I'm going to add the half cup of mayonnaise first. Get that all in here. This will add some more cream and tang to our savory brain spread. Put that in, and as while we're stirring, we'll go ahead and add the lemon juice, which is 1 tablespoon. And we'll add the Creole seasoning for a little kick. This is what makes it the Creole shrimp spread originally. I only add 1 tablespoon because I can't handle too much spice. You can always free to add more if you like. I would start with a tablespoon, then add the shrimp in, and then taste to see if you like the mixture the way it is. So once this is all thoroughly combined together, so the spice and the lemon juice is evenly distributed, then I'll go ahead and add the shrimp. And you'll notice that I've been using kind of a big pot for what looks like a little bit of goop in here, but once you add the shrimp, you'll want that space and that room to work. Otherwise you can have a giant mess all over your stove. Believe me, I've been there. So now we get all the shrimp in here, plop, plop, plop. And then make sure you completely coat all of the shrimp with all of the mixture. So you want to make sure all the gelatin gets all around all of the shrimp, or again you'll have those pockets that won't hold together once in your final mold.